Hello, I'm Peter Dunsmore and welcome to this series where I'm going to show you some basic veneering techniques. Before I glue this in place, I'll just talk to you a little bit about how I press the veneer down on the wood. Now you can get veneer bags and they're good, but they're quite expensive. But for a simple little project like this, what I like is carpet tiles, because they're about 75 pence each from a carpet store, and a couple of bits of chipboard. Now this here is an old flower press from probably about 1920s or something. But if you look at this, two bits of carpet tile, and the advantage of this is it's soft yet firm, and it will follow any slight contours in either the wood or the veneer, and it won't, if there is any imperfections in it, it's not going to press into the veneer and damage a surface. It follows a contour beautifully, and it can also be used for slight curved surfaces as well. And this is a very simple setup with some nuts and bolts, that got nuts and bolts and wing nuts that you can just tighten up and press the carpet tile down onto the veneer. If it was a slightly bigger project, you can just make your own press from some chipboard. It's only sort of formica covered chipboard, and I've stuck some carpet tile placed with double-sided tape, and then it's a simple matter of some G-cramps all around it. So really you can make the press you want to suit the project in hand. You can make them quickly and you can make them cheaply. So if we put that aside a minute, I'm going, for this example here, this fits neatly into this press, so I'll use this one. There we go, and then we'll just press it. Now, before we actually put it in place, we're going to need to put some glue onto the wood. Now, personally, I like PVA glue because there's several glues in the market, but this one, it's got a reasonably good sort of working time, as it were. It dries clear. And another advantage I find is that if you need to reposition the veneer slightly, even if the glue's started to grip, you can use a warm iron and just soften the glue again just to reposition something. But once it's dried, it secures the veneer very well. Now if you have a look, this is a wallpaper seam roller, which again is just a couple of pounds out of a superstore, and I use that to spread the glue evenly over the surface. And at this stage it doesn't matter if it goes onto the walnut. I just want to put an even film over the plywood. You don't want to saturate the wood, just a nice even film. If you saturate it, you'll find the wood, the glue will bleed through any little holes here, and you want to avoid that really. Now, press the veneer in place. What you can do is use a little bit of veneer tape, which is like gum paper, and just wet it, just to hold the veneer to stop it sliding, but you don't really need it because it'll press down nicely in the press. Make sure you're happy with the positioning. Yep. Lay the carpet tile on top. and then just put the wing nuts on. This is easily made up from bits and pieces you can get from a hardware shop. Just take half an hour in the workshop to knock something up like this, and it's a very, very useful tool, particularly for small projects like this. Said earlier, bigger pieces, use a bigger piece of chipboard with some G-clamps. Just tighten them up. Evenly. That's it. Then put that aside to dry. Now the crossbanding can be any veneer really that you want, a suitable colour, maybe a contrasting colour. In this case I'm going to use a piece of plain walnut veneer to surround the walnut burr. Now you can purchase an envelope or a bag full of offcuts of veneer, and these are quite good value for money from somewhere like Craft Supplies. And it's just a envelope full of different offcuts, different sizes, different shapes, different timbers, and these provide good value for money just for any projects that you want to make, particularly smaller projects. But for this, I've got a piece of plain walnut and I'm going to cut a strip across the grain. Now I know the strip I need, the crossbanding, needs to be about 18 millimeters deep in this case. So what I'll do, just make a wee mark. Use a straight edge. Hold the ruler down flat. Got to be a little bit more careful here because you're cutting across the grain. Just 2 or 3 passes with a nice sharp blade. I find the Swan Morton 10A blade is a lovely blade to work with. This is the first one. It's probably enough in that strip, but there we go. There's 2 strips there. Now, to separate the crossbanding from the burr, I'm going to use some stringing. Stringing comes in all sorts of different sizes and colours, and these sort of patterned ones again. Again, a good veneer supplier can supply these. If you look in here, you can get various patterns and effects, all from different woods. You've got black, you've got white, you've got checker patterns and little herringbones, and they're just useful to have here for various projects. So what I'm going to use is keep it very simple and just use a 1mm square stringing. It's a line, and it's sycamore, just the line of sycamore. Put that aside, and we're going to glue that in place between the burr and the crossbanding, so you've got the nice white line to separate them.